It's come close. It's number one. It'll still run it anyway. It's just literally the same thing as what we saw last week. It'll run, but it's basically a queue run. Whoa! Dang. Oh, that's a throwback. I have Spotify playing in the background, and uh, I added all my old songs from my phone onto my Spotify playlist.
Don't count out Casey Drake in that 87. He's right.
One more lap to go here at Indy. He ran him all the way from 3 seconds back. 2 laps to go. Oh, Alto gets done. Oh, Matthew gets the apron. Around goes Drexler. He spins right from the back. Huge wreck. The 2 flies up in the air. It's 3 wide. Oh, what a move by Derek. He wants to go.
Tries to send him up the hill, but can't quite do it.
Not between the 2 is 2 car lengths. Too little too late for Derek on Smith. Oh, clapping gets turned. Clapping gets turned. Oh my gosh. Side by side. 3 wide at the wire.
Alright, we're in intro right now, so. Alright, ready? Okay, let's get this small ass street stock race out of the way, and after that we'll be done by, in about 30 minutes from now. No, it's based off of field size. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the ACOG iRacing series as we get ourselves set for tonight's event. The finale here at Charlotte, getting set to go green here in just a moment. My name is EZECKIEL REYES.
And I'm Dewey Schrammel. Well, we got less cars than we did last night, but it's a much shorter race and a much bigger track comparatively to what the street stocks usually run. So we'll see how this one goes, and hopefully it is a better race than the about 1/6 of a race or so that we saw last night. But we'll dive right into the points here, and there's only, I think, 5 or 6 people in the session right now, so I think the championship is pretty much locked up here. And with Michael Rosero and Blaze Brinkley both not here tonight, that means Michael Rosero is going to be your Street Stock Tour champion, so congratulations to him on a job well done there. As the 6 cars that are here, I believe none of them are at least William in 3rd, so with the points in the Street Stock Tour based off of field size, there's just not enough points for anybody that is here to make up any ground. So that will do it for the points side of things, but on the other side of things, the 6 people that are here tonight, none of them have ever won an ACOG event before, so we're guaranteed a first-time winner tonight.
I mean, Hess has been in iScar Victory Lane. Actually, Kilo Hankins has been in Victory Lane once in the Next Gen Tour at Atlanta, but regardless of that, I mean...
At least on the ACOG side of things, since the rebrand, it's a first-timer.
Yeah, that's right. So, should be fun to see, on who's going to come out on top, because I like seeing small races pan out like this, in which they're just... all these drivers are basically... Well, I wouldn't say nobodies. These drivers are pretty much regulars on the weekly, but they never usually have the chance to run up front. Here they are now, having the chance. I mean, nobody really, I wouldn't say competitive. No offense to these drivers or anything like that, but, nobody really competitive are here.
Just not names that we typically tend to see towards the front, top 5, top 10 of the field, so it's good to see them have a chance to shine here tonight. And with about a minute left in practice, David Bachman currently fastest of the 6 drivers that are here. And, Bachman, Tabor, Klein, and Mark Austin have not won under either name. And again, Garrett Hess won under IceCar, and Hankins won back in the Next Gen. So, Kiloa the only one with an ACOG victory. So I guess we're not guaranteed a first-time winner, but there's a 5 out of 6 chance they're going to get one. So we'll see if one of those 5 gets it, or if Kiloa can best the other 5. And you see that 72 putting down a solid lap there, and he will be fastest here in the practice. So I believe we're going to have... Yeah, we'll have a short qualifying session here in a few moments. And that will set the lineup for the heat. And the heat will set the lineup for our main event. So as practice winds itself down, we will scoot ourselves off to the side here for just a couple of moments and play the national anthem. So rise up and remove your hats as we salute our nation's colors.
And we're back here live at Charlotte, getting set for the small event taking place here tonight for the ACOG Street Stock Tour, the finale. Of course, about to go green here in just a moment. Low Hankins is going to be starting up front for this heat. This heat, you know, only 10 laps is going to determine on where these drivers will start for this 30-lap event upcoming in just a moment. So, yeah.
Yeah, I lied a little bit. The session we just watched was not practice. It was indeed qualifying. So the 6 cars you see in this order will be the order that they start here for this 10-lap heat. And again, the order they finish in here will be where they start for the 30 or 40-lap main event. I forget the exact lap count, but it's not 50, because 50 laps with these cars would take quite a while, even compared to the 150-lap race you were supposed to have last night.
Yeah, and it's only 30 laps here for tonight, so a bit over of what a regular rookie street stock race would provide, because regular rookie street stock races are only 20 laps. So
I'm sure everybody here has fond memories of racing those.
Yeah, that's why this track car combination is fun to, you know, take around with, knowing that this is a familiar track car combo as a rookie. So the pace car scoots itself on in. We'll go ahead and pick it up the green. Kilo Hankins in 72 will lead us to the restart. Heat number 1 is up and away for this key race.
Pretty even start there for Bachmann up top, and it looks like he'll pull ahead by about a couple feet here into turn 1, but Hankins with the preferred bottom line will instantly make that ground up, and now Bachmann's going to lose that time up top with no drafting partner as everybody decides to go down to the bottom side.
Yeah, with not a lot of drivers here, it's going to be hard to maybe form up an outside line. So I'm pretty sure that second car in line is going to be a big catalyst on how this is all going to go. Based off of what kind of runs these drivers are going to get and such. So it should be interesting to see on who's going to go where and who's going to work with who. So now with 9 to go, this will give us a slight bit of, you know, a taste of what we're going to see as Bachmann gets really sideways.
And up the hill the 84 goes. He holds onto it. And now right up to his back bumper is Henry Tabor, as Kilo will jump up to the high side to get a bit more of a draft off the 84. And we'll fling it back down to the bottom side as Garrett Hess will now take a look for that second spot under Bachmann. And I think for the high side to really work during the main event, I think we're going to need at least 4 of these 6 cars up top, because if there's 3 and 3, it'll be just about even. So it's going to take that extra 4th car up there to really make an impact. So if you're restarting in first like Hankins is right now, and you have that bottom side to you, do not under any circumstances let it up, because if you can keep yourself down there where he is, it's going to be pretty difficult for anybody to make a charge around you.
Yeah, definitely. 6th car in line as, oh, Hess washed up the racetrack big time. He nearly washed right into Bachman, but looks like they keep themselves off of each other for right now. Klein in the 80s, sort of laying back right now, 1.6 back. So he's just going to have to, you know, hope for some type of incident to happen within these top 6 for him to catch up. But, you know, it's all right for him since, you know, this is just the heat. It's anything too crucial for right now, so...
Yeah, and it's not a situation like we've had in previous street stock races where you have to actually keep yourself in the top 5 or you risk potentially DNQing, of course. With only 6 total cars, there's literally 0 risk whatsoever in laying to the back for right now. As you see Bachman get a bit loose again there in the middle of 3, and that's going to hold up Tabor as well. And the 8 will shove it down to the bottom and hope to get around that 84 here in the 1 and 2.
Hess is doing a nice job in that 91, and maybe he worked himself around that 72. Everybody trying to single file as Bachman, yet again, very, very loose up on that high side. Bachman chased the car up the racetrack as he tried to come down in front of the 8, but here comes the outside lane. It's Hess in the 91 trying to make a charge. He has one of the rookies, Mark Austin, at 159, mounting up there on the high side as well. We'll see what he could do.
And Garrett got a tad sideways there for a moment. He's trying to mount the charge up there as Bachman's going to jump back up and maybe give him some drafting help as we approach the halfway point here in this heat. As they're dead even here into 1. And if Bachman can get up to Garrett's bumper and stay there, maybe Garrett can potentially get enough of a run to clear down in front of the 72 and the 3. But again, the bottom is such a stronger line here. It's really going to take a lot to make that work. And speaking of making things work, Mark Austin taking it 3 wide there down the backstretch, trying to make a new line, but didn't have any help to keep it there as Hess gets way high there in the middle of 3.
Yeah, man, yeah, Hess got really, really loose. He chased the car up the racetrack like Bachman did, and Bachman was right on his bumper. So that was very sketchy as they worked themselves off of 4, but kept themselves off of each other, and we still have 5 cars still in this thing.
Yeah, it looks like Klein is... Yeah, he's really laying back now for the main event as you see Mark Austin in the 159 now first on the top side with Hess back on the bottom. Tabor gets a bit loose there. It seems like turn 3 is the spot that a lot of these guys are getting loose in. They're able, you know, they're handling well enough they can save it, but it's still noticeably loose, at least on corner entry. So we'll see how much of an impact that ends up having over the main event.
Austin's going to make a charge as Bachman's going to make it 3 wide through the middle, through Hess and through Austin, and that is not going to work out for him via the lead because I don't think Bachman nor Mark Austin are going to go anywhere. We're still sticking with second, though, of that number 91. Hess all the way on the bottom of the racetrack, guys. You see the 8 of Tabor trying to pass 2 for 1 right now.
Yeah, Tabor, I think, could be a good beneficiary of that 3 wide battle, as he has the draft of Hess and Hankins ahead of him. 2 to go here in the heat as Hess makes a move up to the top side, trying to get that lead away. Bit of contact there between Austin and Bachman. That's going to send the 159 to the rear of this pack, and now he'll slide in behind the 84 and hope to make another move down back.
Yeah, we'll just have to see on how it'll all go as they're coming to the white flag this time by through 3 and 4. It's Hankins on the low side. Hess trying to make something happen.
Bachman got a count from Austin, and the 159 is going to hold on to it. But they're both going to lose this. The white flag is out here for the heat, and Henry Tabor is likely going to decide who wins this heat.
Yeah, it's whatever line Henry Tabor's going to go with is what line will move, and he goes to the bottom, and Hankins is going to push forward because of it. The 91 of Hess is sort of frustrated, trying to pinch as much as he can, but we'll see if he can get a run off the corner. Seems as though he's still there, and it's all up to Tabor to determine how this finish will go.
Yeah, Garrett's pretty powerless right now. I mean, he's pinching as much as he can, but he just has no draft to help him get enough of a run. But out of 4, Tabor's going to try to take it 3 wide on the bottom. He's going to go through the artificial grass and at the line. That was really, really close, but Garrett Hess barely gets the job done, and Tabor got second from Hankins as well. So photo finish there for the heat win, and it will be Hess that will take the pole here for the main event tonight.
Yeah, that was really, really close between Hess and Hess and Tabor and Hankins, I mean,
I'm surprised Tabor got... I can't believe Tabor got that big of a run on the bottom out of 4. I thought he was just going to push the 72 across the line, but he really flung it down there and somehow made it stick.
Not only that, I mean, Tabor ended up grabbing second over Hankins just by a small tad. And my goodness, I can't believe Hess picked up that win. But Tabor, he was in the grass the time before he slid up the racetrack to pull himself back onto the racetrack. But yeah, great finish, and hopefully that's a foreshadowing to see what we have for this 30-lap event.
Yeah, as the warm-up session has been skipped here, so Garrett Hess and Henry Tabor, row 1 for the main event. Kealoha Hankins and David Bachman will start 3rd and 4th, and then Mark Austin and Matthew Klein 5th and 6th. And again, that is the entire field here for tonight, believe it or not. So it'll be a 30-lap dash between these 6 cars to determine who will win the season finale. And again, Michael Rosero, despite not being here tonight, has clinched the Street Stock Tour Championship because none of the cars that are here tonight are within points range of passing him. So congrats again to Michael on taking that title, and we'll see who can wrap up this mini season with a W.
Doing a bit of a 6-wide salute here down the back straightaway as everybody, you know, pulls himself a nice cheerful, you know, a nice cheer before we get ourselves set. So here we go. 30 laps, 6 drivers to decide on who will come out as a winner here tonight. We've only had one repeat winner in this field, and that was a 72 Hankins.
Green, green, green.
As the green flag flies, we're up and away here at Charlotte. 30 laps going to go into the books, and we're going to decide on who of those 6 will come out victorious here tonight.
Yeah, and we didn't really do race analysis. There really isn't much to analyze. I mean, it's a 1.5 mile oval, but, you know, pit stops and fuel windows, that kind of thing, that is not a factor here in the Street Stock Tour. So it's pretty much as, you know, bare bones as you can get it. It's Street Stock cars at one of the tracks you basically start off racing at, and we'll see which one of them can take their experience and put it to the... I completely lost the words I was going to say. But let's see who can take their experience and make the most of it here and win it here tonight, as Hess and Hankins side by side for the lead here in the 1.
Yep. Ooh, Tabor got sideways. He's jerking the car. You see the hands on his wheel, sort of sawing the car back and forward, trying to search for some grip. They're still side by side for the lead, though. It's Hess on the bottom and Hankins on the top. First time we've really seen some side by side action, because all during that first heat, it was all that 72 of Kealoha Hankins.
Yeah, still side by side right now across the line. It looks like Hess will lead another here into 1 as you see Klein starting to lose these guys once again. So it's a 5-car main pack here as Bachman can pretty much pick and choose wherever he wants to go right now, as they're 2x2 still in front of him.
Yep. Hankins still up in the...
Oh, that was close.
Yeah, Mark Austin in the 159, he gave a tap to the quarter panel of that number 8. I'm not really sure what Austin was doing there. He washed up to the straightaway, tagged him, but they kept it straight for right now, and we still stayed green.
Yeah, that would have quite literally taken out a third of the field if that had ended up being an incident, but thankfully it was not, as the 2 leaders still side by side, but a bit of a blink there for Hess, as Mark Austin will pull up to the back bumper of that 91, and with Garrett coming up to try to get a side draft off the 72, that's going to pull the 159 even closer. And he washes up a little bit, almost contact there.
Still side by side for this top spot, and Hankins in the 72 trying to grab the lead away from Hess. really do much right now, since they're all locked side by side. Bachmann washed up the racetrack, though. And you see how tight, I mean, how loose these drivers are. I mean, they're dead sideways through the corner, so... if they're loose now, how loose will they be on lap 30?
Oh, speaking of getting loose, up the hill and into the wall go our 2 leaders, Garrett, Hess, and Hankins. The 72 goes up on 2 wheels and now goes upside down, and he will slide down the embankment here onto the pit lane. Caution out here on lap 6, and first and second place for the second night in a row have gotten into it here within the first 10 laps of the race.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I mean, well... not really sure, you know, what kind of contact was made where, but we'll see.
I think he just washed up.
Yeah, I think Hess just washed up. And 72 goes for, yeah, Hess just washed up, and
right there's a 72, goes up on 2 wheels and flips just right over there and slides down the track. And Klein does a good job of slowing it down there and keeping it out of harm's way. So Hankins will probably have a lengthy repair job here on pit road. And I'd imagine Hess will also be coming down for optional. And it looks like, I believe that's Austin also on pit road taking a set of tires. I mean, it can't hurt, I guess. Or, but that's Bachmann, actually. I mean, if the tire set's there, why not take it? I mean, with only 6 cars, you're going to lose like a grand total of 3 spots, so why not?
And then out goes Kiloa. I mean, that's as simple as a flip as he could get, but he sort of flopped on his roof in a bad way, so we'll see if that's going to affect him aerodynamically, but, you know, all 4 wheels are still on the car, regardless, so... Hankins, still, you know, A-okay right now. So we'll take the green with, say, maybe 20 laps to go.
Yeah, we'll see if it ends up being a quick yellow or not. We had a couple of those last week at Concord, where I think we only did 3 caution laps total, so with this being a bigger track, I think we could probably go green next time by. So we'll see what the pace car decides to do with regards to that.
I'm pretty sure you'll see the... oh, looks like Austin? Nope, never mind.
And 1 to go it is. So we'll line them up double file. Mark Austin on the bottom. Tabor up top. Bachmann and Klein behind them. And then Hess and Hankins still trying to catch up. I believe Kiloa might have gone down pit road and taken some more optional. So we'll have to hurry up to make sure he gets caught up before the green comes back out. And he's basically half the track behind. I don't know if he'll get there.
I mean, it is a 1.5 mile racetrack, so he does still have the chance to pull himself forward and get himself on the racing surface. We'll just have to see, though, for that 72 to Hankins, but... pretty sure, I mean, I don't know how much damage Kiloa picked up. How much optional he had, so Hankins is gonna still be roaming around with the damaged car unless he catches another caution. You just have to see from there on how that'll all go, as the pace car is gonna scoot itself onto pit road. Mark Austin on the 159 gonna go ahead and pull himself forward here for the restart.
And Hess and Hankins indeed both caught up.
Green flag, green
so all
flag.
6 cars back at it here to take the green flag here on lap number 9.
Yep, worked themselves into turn number 1, as looks like Hess is gonna back out of it. He's gonna slide himself, I mean, right behind that 72 of Hankins. It's going to be Mark Austin in the 159 leading this thing as everybody sort of files himself into line, or the top 3 do, at least. 80 and Matthew Klein going nowhere. He's up against the outside wall as he drops himself back. Top 3 pull away as Austin going to lead this thing.
Yeah, and Austin, one of those here in tonight's field, looking for his first ever league win. It's not one under the ACOG or iScar name, as with Bachman behind him and Tabor in third. So the top 3 all looking for their first ever league win in any capacity and under any name. So we'll see which one of these 3 could potentially get it done, as Bachman's going to take a dive forward into 3, but gets the door shut on him there by Austin, or so we thought, as the 159 washes up a little bit, and now the door will slide back open for the Bachman, and at the line, the 84 will barely lead that lap, and now we'll have some drafting out from Tabor to potentially complete this pass.
Bachman's still there. He has Tabor at the rear end of him. She's going to shoot forward down the back. Hess in the 91, I think he was trying to help Hankins, but unfortunately he dropped out of this main pack, so we're left with 3 cars. Still, I mean, in this main pack, but all 6 drivers are still here on the racetrack as a bit of a crossover. Austin works himself to the bottom.
Really solid move there for Austin. He will take the lead back, and you can definitely tell that the damage that Hess and Hankins picked up is really starting to hinder them, but I mean, they're both ahead of Klein still, but looks like it's not enough to keep up with these top 3. So assuming that this thing goes the way it's trending, looks like we're going to have a first-time winner tonight.
Here comes Tabor. He's going to work himself to the bottom. Under Austin. He's going to drag Bachman with him, and I think it's just going to be a spin cycle between these 3 drivers of taking the lead and getting past for it. So now I think the 8, this might be his first lap led all night.
Yeah, and if this ends up being a spin cycle, it'll be a matter of which one of them can have this lead cycled to them at the completion of lap 30, as all 3 of these cars now in the last 3 laps have each taken a turn in the race lead. As you see Bachman peeking the nose there into 3, but Tabor shuts that door on him. And the 8 washes up just a little bit, but not enough for Bachman to get the nose under him, and he's definitely looking to get there, but can't quite get it done this time.
Bachman looks up high. Tabor still mirror driving as Austin's all over Bachman. They're going to sandwich coming into 1 as 17 laps to go this time by. 3 drivers under a blanket as the 91 of Hess is slowly losing these guys.
Yeah, and it looks like Klein and Hankins are both in a little pod of their own. So Hess is kind of in no man's land right now because he's not fast enough to stay with these top 3 with the damage, but he's also way faster than the 2 cars behind him. So he's kind of just on an island of his own right now, which you basically feel helpless because at this point he really can't race with anybody because of how much of a speed disparity there now is between this top 3 and the 2 cars behind him. So unfortunately for Hess, he might end up racing like that for the rest of tonight.
Unless he catches a caution, of course, pull himself back, into this 3-car pack. So we'll just have to see. Any slight sort of contact is going to disrupt one of these 3, and that's all it takes as Tabor snags the apron. Austin's trying to take it 3 wide on the bottom, can't make it happen. Door gets shut. But again, if any one of these 3 get disconnected, that's automatically gonna pull Hess back into the mix.
Well, he's 2 seconds back now of this top pack, so he would need to at least get close enough to get the draft of one of these 3. So we will see if that can end up happening, as we're gonna hit the halfway point, or we have hit the halfway point rather of this main event, as Tabor will briefly clear Bachman for the lead, and Austin will slide in behind him. But the 84 is doing a really good job up there keeping even, and he might have actually led that lap.
Yep. Keeping themselves side by side as they work through the corner. Tabor loose as he drove down to the bottom side of the track to box in the 159. And the 159 of Austin is going to go second lane. He's going to drive it to the bottom as Tabor seems as though he had a good enough run to clear Bachman, but never mind. Bachman still has a run. Not only that.
Yeah, Bachman's doing a really, really nice job of keeping his car up there, because again, with Austin behind Tabor, it should be, in theory, pretty easy for those two on the bottom to blow right by the 84, but, you know, by pinching the way he is, he's keeping himself even, and if he can do it long enough, he might be able to potentially slingshot his way to a victory out of turn 4 on that last lap if he can get enough of a run. But the other 3 cars now behind these guys are pretty evenly spread out. So if this goes green the rest of the way, it's going to be one of these 3 cars that will take it home.
Bachman's going to come down in front of Tabor. He sort of cleared him into the corner, but was a bit hesitant on coming down. Now Tabor knows it's back to the bottom. Bachman didn't take the chance of going in front of Tabor there, coming into 1, and Tabor got a run through 1 and 2 because of it. Now he's going to take the lead yet again. And here comes Austin.
Yeah, Bachman lost some ground there, and it looks like he will finally end up sliding in behind the 159, but Austin decides to go up to the top side, and you see Clown and Hankins side by side for 5th further back. So a bit of a role reversal now, with Austin on the top side, with Tabor and Bachman behind the 8.
That 8 of Tabor, he's wheeling that thing. That hands on his wheel is literally sawing it. He's trying to find some grip on either the front or the back end of the car. Doing so nicely as he shoves himself into the corner. And 3 and 4 is going to determine this outcome of the race. The interesting part here about Charlotte is Charlotte on both sides is uneven. Turns 1 and 2 is wider than turns 3. The radius of turns 1 and 2 is actually wider than turns 3 and 4. As Bachman on the apron, my goodness gracious! I know it's not racing real estate right there, but Bachman backs out of it regardless. But turns 3 and 4 is tighter through here, so you could pinch up on the high side easier than what you can in 1 and 2. So if you get a good enough run through 3 and 4.
I think Austin's going to this time. I think Tabor got a bit loose there on the bottom. And I think for a second there, Bachman was thinking about taking it 3 wide, but thought better of it. As Tabor hit the apron right there, and that's going to stall him out just a little bit. And Austin pulls back even, and now Bachman's going to take it 3 wide, so we're going to go... Oh! He thought about it again. And I think Austin saw that move Bachman made and just flung it up the hill to create space and ended up costing himself a position there. So now it's Bachman back up top and Austin back on the bottom again. 8 to go.
8 to go this time by as Bachman's trying to pull his way forward. Tabor is just snagging the apron right now, just keeping himself pinned down to the bottom. You don't want to get a car under you. And that 8's doing a great job of keeping that car to the bottom, but unfortunately he's giving up runs off the corner because he's sticking to the bottom. And that 84 of Bachman with that wider line, it's allowing him to keep himself side by side, and he might lead it at the line just because of it.
And he does. But yeah, like I said in the heat, the best strategy to winning one of these events is to keep that car as close to the apron as you can without hitting it, and don't allow a car to get under him, as Austin's really flinging it in there now, trying to get to that bottom side. And if you're the leader on that bottom, if you're gonna have somebody pass you, make them work for it on the top side, make them use up more tires to keep their car up there and have to turn the wheel a lot more. And Tabor's been doing a really good job of that here since we went back green, and we'll see if he can hold on for 6 more laps. But Bachman leads at the line again.
These two have never won an ACOG nor iScar event. Or actually, these 3. Mark Austin in the 159 never ran iScar. He's... That 159, Mark Austin, he's sort of the odd one out based off of the, in contrast to these two veterans up front. Mark is making the best of that 8th bumper right now as he hit 5 to go at the line.
Oh, I think Austin thought about taking it 3 wide there, but there wasn't enough of a gap to. He's pretty much in the same situation Bachman was, where he really wants to take it 3, but just...
man.
Yeah, Tabor hit the apron again, and he got a bit more squirrely out at 2. And Bachman, can he clear down?
Oh, he's
No.
trying to.
Oh, he was so close. Needed just like a couple more feet, and he would have gotten it done, but Tabor will hold on for just a bit longer here. But Austin's hungry. He is all over the back bumper of that 8 car.
Bachman needs another run like he had through 1 and 2, but unfortunately, that 159 of Mark Austin's not letting go, and now Bachman's files back in line. He's going to push the 159, who's going to take a run up to the high side.
And Bachman's going to stay on the bottom. So, advantage Tabor still. Yeah, the only way I think Tabor loses this at this point...
Ooh.
Oh, you're going to go 3 this time? Bachman really flung it down below the line that time, but couldn't make it stick. It's going to come down to the wire here. They're still all over each other.
And if this all goes to hell, these top 3 drivers all somehow wreck. You got to scroll all the way back to 6 seconds behind to Garrett Hess. So if all 3 of these drivers spin...
Yeah, don't count him out yet.
You got 6 seconds to get your car started up and going.
In other words, you're not. Because you can't do it that fast. But,
and if Hess somehow gets involved, there's another 15 seconds back. Or not another, but it's 15 seconds back to Klein and Hankins.
Those 2 are running together, too. They're separated by about 1/10 of a second. So if somehow all 4 cars ahead of them wrecked, I mean, that'd be a dash to the finish between those 2. As Bachman's still giving a bump down the back to Tabor. He's got about 1.25 laps left to see if he can hold on.
Bachman needed that. Bachman needed to clear that 159 of Austin. This is going to be his final chance unless the 159 tries to make it 3. It's white flag this time by, and as Tabor gets sideways from a push from Bachman. 1.5 miles left in this street stock race, and all 3 of these drivers are grouped together.
Bachman is right there. He gets shoved up the hill by Austin, and that got him loose. And the 159 is going to turn the 84. And, well, Austin's going to save it. Bachman did not. And the seas have parted here for Henry Tabor. And with the 2 closest competitors having wiped each other out of turn 4, for the first time ever, Henry Tabor is an ACOG winner. And he will win the Street Stock Tour finale here at Charlotte. And congratulations once again to Micah Rizzero as well for winning the championship despite not being in the session tonight. And here's a race for 4th place as Hankins and Klein have caught Bachman, and the 72, despite flipping over, will get the spot from the 84.
The Owl Wreck-It across the line to end off the first season of the Street Stock Tour. And Henry Tabor in that number 8 is going to come out victorious. Not only that, his first ever win in ACOG. Congratulations to him. And his first coming here at Charlotte. He's going to burn it down here on the front straightaway. Congratulations to him. Big old W here for tonight for that team. And we'll go ahead and pull up full results here in front of your screen. It's, you know, Henry Tabor, Mark Austin, Garrett Hess, Kilo Hankins, Bachman, and Klein.
Yeah, and despite it only being 6 cars, I mean, that was still a pretty decent race. I mean, there was a lot of good battling between those top 3. So we'll scoot ourselves off to the side here as Henry Tabor burns it down. And we'll be back here in a few moments with an interview from your race winner.
And we welcome everybody back here live for the ACOG iRacing Street Stock Tour season finale taking place here at Charlotte, and we've crowned ourselves our winner here for tonight. That number 8 of Henry Tabor coming out victorious. We'll go ahead and drag him into the booth and see what he has to say in that number 8. Well, what's up, Tabor?
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, man. Congratulations on your first ever ACOG victory here tonight. I mean, regardless, it was only 6 cars, but still had to put up a fight there between Bachman and Mark Austin. Oh, just walk me through that final lap.
Going into one, he tried a little bump, and I knew exactly what he was doing. I almost gave it to him. It almost moved me just enough out of the way, to give him the lead, but I just barely held on. And then once I saw them start wrecking, I knew that it was over, and just not to do anything stupid. And I mean, that was a really good race. I mean, doesn't matter how many people there were. Probably better that there were less people, only the one caution. But yeah, I mean, still a win's a win, and I'll take it any way I can.
Yep, that's right. W is a W. Led 15 laps out of the scheduled 30 here for tonight to pick up your first ever W over Bachman and Mark Austin in that 159. So yeah, you come out victorious. It's not only you're rounding out the finale with a win, it's your first ever win in here in ACOG. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I'll take a win anywhere. It's good to win. I feel good about it. I think that it wasn't completely undeserved, small car count, but I definitely had to put up a fight for it. So I'm still, I take it where I can, and I use some of my real life experience doing that, making some moves. But still, all in all, I mean, that was a good racing between all of us. I want to thank Bachman and Mark for keeping it clean to the end. That was my one request. Is I didn't care if I won or if I lost. I wanted to cross the finish line going straight, and I mean, it played out in my favor. So not necessarily my entire request, but I was going straight. So that was that.
All right, but 10-4, the number 8 of Henry Tabor rounds himself out up top. Before we let you go, any sponsors want to thank you for tonight?
I just want to thank my family. I do a lot of this, and they have to put up with my BS a lot. So I want to thank them and Tabor Accounting Group. Obviously they've helped me out. Pro Drive Racing, that's who I race for in real life. They're awesome. Yeah, just feels good.
Awesome, man. Congratulations. That 8 of Henry Tabor to round himself out in victory lane. We'll go ahead and see you coming to next race, man.
Thank you.
And with that being said, well, Dewey, what a way to go ahead and round out the Street Stock Tour here, here for the season.
Yeah, I can't say I expected only 6 cars here for tonight. I was expecting maybe 26 or 36 to show up to try to get in, but 6 it was. But there's still a really good battle we had over those last 20 laps between those top 3, but in the end, Henry Tabor prevails and takes home his first ever victory. So congrats once again to him, and congrats again to Michael Rizzero on winning the championship. And well, I don't really know what else to say at this point, but thank y'all for watching here over the last 6 weeks. We'll be back next week with the Super Speedway Series starting.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so be sure to come back same time next Sunday for the Super Speedway Series, because it will be a good one.